afternoon, VC. All right. Wanted to mention that I noticed that I got to 1,400 subscribers recently. It's not something I hardly ever talk about on this channel, but I did want to mention that. The first video I ever posted on YouTube was 17 years ago, and I've been posting ever since. It was originally live videos from bands I filmed over the Southeast, and then it turned into the vinyl community channel that I've had now for a while. I think I was probably in about the third wave of the channels that got going from the earlier days. And so I appreciate everybody that tunes in. I appreciate the comments. It's normally the same group of folks, because I show a lot of crazy shit on here. I'm not attracting the Beatles crowd, so to speak, even though I do show Beatles records from time to time. But I'm not monetized. I've never looked at algorithms or any of this other internet bullshit to try to promote the channel. It's not something I ever concern myself with. I don't have time for that shit. So yeah, though it's still pretty cool. I know, like, Mazzy's probably got, what, I think John said 50,000 subs or something, on way many more that watch. I guess that would probably be the pinnacle of what someone can do with a VC channel. And there's a lot of videos he makes I really enjoy. Like, I mean, I'm sure the Seattle Record Fair coming up will be a great video to watch, because he always has some good cohorts with him, showing records that they found. Yeah, enjoy those. Any case, let's see. I'm probably gonna break this up into about 3 or 4 videos. Been real busy with acquisitioning records, and I've got an entire box of CDs here, maybe 75 CDs, somewhere around there. A friend of mine, Joe, who has a channel, Joe J, here in the VC, a coworker of his decided to get rid of his jazz CD collection, and instead of selling it, he asked Joe if Joe wanted it. It was about 300 CDs, and Joe said sure. So Joe took them free of charge, and they've been sitting in boxes in his house for probably over a year. And he's wanted me to come up to Winston-Salem to go through them for a long time. And so they've sat there, and because he doesn't know what all he's got in there, because there was a lot of new artists in there, a lot of free jazz and avant-garde artists in there, but there was also a lot of good hard bop in there, and a little bit earlier stuff. Not too much of that, but stuff that's in Joe's wheelhouse. So I spent, the Friday night I went up there from about 12:30 at night till about 2:30 in the morning, separating this 300 CD collection out into 3 stacks. A stack that I thought Joe should keep, because I know what he listens to, his wheelhouse when it comes to jazz. The stuff that he should sell, stuff that I'm not interested in, that he probably wouldn't be interested in. And then he let me keep whatever I found in there that was, the free avant stuff. So there ended up being about 70-some. There were 70-some CDs that I took home in a box here. And I'm going to probably do one of these videos. I'm going to show all these CDs. So it's technically not going to be a vinyl video. It's going to be a CD video. But you can watch that or not. It's no big deal to me. But yeah, there's a lot of records here, though, too, because I worked a trade at Lunchbox. I did a full purge here. Needed to make some room. And I ended up, I think it was about 50 records that I pulled to sell. Going through them, though, I realized there was a lot of good stuff in there that was DJ material. And I have a good friend, Ellen, who DJs on Wednesday nights here in Charlotte at Club Vinyl, down in South End, kind of closer to downtown. She DJs Wednesday nights, mostly, R&B and soul, but she likes reggae and those types of things. And it's DJ Ellen Mental, which is a great name. And so I put together a Chris Cole type care package for her, and so a chunk of those 50 that I pulled went to Ellen for DJ purposes. And then I took the rest to Lunchbox. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to show you what I got in trade at Lunchbox. I got 230 in credit for maybe 22 records. And so yeah, we're going to show you what all I got in trade. So I kind of tried to go through as much of the store as I could. Hasn't been much in the way of used jazz there in quite a while. It's been kind of dried up. That, or more people are just scooping that stuff up, and I just don't pop in there like I used to anymore. Definitely not as frequently. I looked at my Discogs. I think I've bought 2 records on Discogs in the last 6 months. I'm trying to completely ignore Discogs altogether. That site irks the shit out of me anyway. But yeah, so trying to, but there's a lot of records here that I got in trade. I went through the past RSD section because it's massive in Lunchbox, and if you're in the area and you can get there and you need any past RSD titles, you might find them in there. I mean, that Sun Ra from the last RSD, there's still a copy in there. I think there's still a Bill Evans in Norway in there. I mean, they got everything in there. This is a band I started listening to some of their live stuff on YouTube recently, and I'm way late to a lot of stuff, to be honest, when it comes to, well, earlier punk and punk adjacent stuff. The Fall Live 1977 was an RSD release, and it was still there. So I picked this up. There's a ton of this I haven't even listened to yet. I've been so busy with a lot of things in my life, so we'll get to all these, and I'm happy to get these in trade. I don't know what label this is on. Fall Sound Archive, or what is this? Cherry Red Records, it says. Let's see if this is anything fancy as far as the vinyl is concerned. It's got this cool insert, and it is on a red vinyl with like the tape as the label. Yeah, cool to find this in there. I did get a props at the counter for buying this from the one lady that works there, because she was like, we got all these fall records and no one ever buys them. So I was like, well, someone bought one today. This is one I'd seen in the bins for a few months, and just happened to be the time to go ahead and grab it with having the trade. That's Lamont Young with Maria Zazila, which I believe was his wife. The Theater of Eternal Music, Dreamhouse. Was it 7817? This is going to be some very experimental drone stuff, and this was reissued, and you're going to see a theme in a lot of these records that I picked up in trade on Superior Viaduct, who do the Lord's work. It's not a perfect copy. It's kind of bashed in here in the corner, but it was the only copy they had, and I don't really care about the back side of the cover having damage, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's a nice gatefold nonetheless. Double LP. Yeah, I've got interesting cassette that's Drone from Lamont Young and Zazila that I really enjoy, actually. So looking forward to this one. Got to be in the right frame of mind for that stuff, though, when you listen to it. This is really the only one I had on my brain to pick up in the trade, so I definitely went and grabbed this out of the punk section. The X, Blueprints for a Blackout. Again, Superior Viaduct. They've been reissuing the entire catalog of the X. Great punk band from the Netherlands, been around forever. I got to see them in 2014 in Barcelona, Spain, at Primavera Sound. It was one of the highlights of the day, and it was one of the first, if not the first. No, it wasn't the first band I saw that day, but it was early on in the day, and they were incredibly awesome. A lot of cowbell at that gig from the drummer. She's great. Originally, this came out in '84. This is going to be badass. I love this band, and they're actually putting out a new record. They've been around forever. Talk about longevity. The style hasn't changed at all either, and it doesn't have to. They're so freaking good at what they do in their songwriting. Next, I found this in the used punk section, which is usually difficult to find stuff in because Scott the owner collects punk, so the good stuff usually goes home with him, but he just doesn't do videos showing it like Dylan. Crime, Murder by Guitar. 1976 to 1980 stuff. I want to say, is this Superior Viaduct again? Probably. This is one of the first ever punk bands in the United States, out of San Francisco area. Yeah, Superior Viaduct on red vinyl. Again, and this wasn't planned. I was just picking stuff up that I found. You know, what a great label to be putting out a variety of different kinds of music. That's kind of hard to get. I'm not so big on their lead singer, but the band is so good. So, 76 previously unreleased stuff on a lot of this. Crime. This is one that Tied Down TV, and Danny specifically has recommended, I don't know how many times. So I saw a copy sitting there, and I grabbed it. I don't even know what press it is. Ruts, The Crack. So this is going to be some great UK stuff. This is a copy on Virgin UMC. Babylon's Burning is the cut on this bad boy. I'll show you the vinyl. I don't think it was anything special. But, yeah, cool label. Ruts. And a nice sleeve. So probably a recent reissue, maybe from 2023 or something. I don't know. Originally came out in '79. So some fairly early UK stuff. And this cover's quite interesting when you start really looking at it. So from there, I went over to the new arrivals finally, because there was someone in it for a while, and I couldn't get in to look at those bins. And to my surprise, there were two records I've been looking for quite a while. So I added them to the stack with the trade credit. Sandy Bull Fantasias for guitar and banjo, with Billy Higgins on drums, on the Vanguard Stereo Lab label. These are pretty common. This is the first time I've run into a copy, and it's a nice copy, so I went ahead and grabbed it. There's a bunch of different versions of this, different cover versions with different font, different pressings. This one I couldn't even find on Discogs, to be honest. I think I can't tell if it's the gold or silver label. I forget. Probably the gold. Stereo Vanguard. Not a first press, maybe a third or something. But this one's in nice shape and sounds great. This is one I've listened to. It's interesting to have Billy Higgins on here, but the jazz drumming works with what Sandy does. I've only got one other of his records. There's two I'd like to find still. I think Dom just showed one. I need it. They don't pop up around here as often as you'd think. And then this one, this is, I want to say the last. I've had this on CD since it came out, but the last I needed at all for this band on vinyl, and that's Soundgarden, King Animal. Not my favorite record from them by any means, but there's some good songwriting here, and it's Chris Cornell and Kim Thale. Kim Thale is one of my favorite guitarists to ever breathe air. This is an OG first pressing, double LP, and it was a really good price. I want to say it was probably $30 if it was 25. So that went into the pile. Really happy to find a nice copy of this. It was on the brain. Yeah. And then this is one, this is a record that I think it was this particular record that Carlson played for me when I was out visiting him in Denver, in Aurora, the town that's under siege. I only saw pretty wealthy folks there, so that's straight comedy hour bullshit that you're getting shoved down your throat on that. Dwarves. And this is Blood, Guts, and Pussy. Really dig the guitars at the whole band. I don't know what's taken me so long to come around to Dwarves. Like Final Richie's been talking about them for years, and I've always been like, "What the fuck is up with those covers? I don't know if this is gonna be for me." This shit's fucking great. Holy shit. And then I always go through the 7 inches, and there was Black Flag TV Party. Probably a recent press on some kind of yellowish gold. I don't care about which Black Flag copy I have, as long as it sounds good. This one sounds pretty good. It's got TV Party on the A. I've got to run in my rules on the B. This is Henry and Dez both are on this particular release, from SST. Iconic shit. Yeah, any Black Flag I don't have comes home. And so that's all the stuff I got in trade. And I did go by there back to Lunchbox last night to get one new release, and I thought about getting the vinyl. It was $38 plus tax, so it was going to be about $42. Or I could get the CD for $13. So I got the CD. This is the new Deafheaven, Lonely People with Power, black metal from San Francisco. This is a fucking masterpiece. It's going to be well up there in my records of the year. There are some really, really great videos from this. I've never been big on the style of the screaming vocals on this, but the guitar, the band is so fucking good. It's so fucking tight. The riffs are incredible. This is on Roadrunner Records. This is a really cool cover. I don't have a lot of this kind of stuff, but some of the videos, they've really grabbed me. I'll tell you which songs. I'll leave some links if I get a chance. But yeah, this is going in the car. Something's finally replacing Horse Girl in the Car, which is a complete departure from, this is a complete departure from that. Let's see. What are those? There's a video for Winona. Really good video. Top notch. But the song, the third song, Magnolia, is absolutely badass. Great riff. Some of the best heavy riffs I've heard in a long time. And I want to say the one guitar player and the singer have been together the whole time in this band. It's got to be the same guy. You can't really tell in the video. And they don't list their names in here, band members, but it's a little bit different lineup from originally with I think the second guitarist, but that's a big release. Anyway, that's the first video of many here today. Peace.